For as long as most of us can remember, a six-figure salary, that was the goal, right? It was the benchmark, the sign that you had officially made it in America. But something's happened. As we're looking at the numbers for 2025, there's a huge gap between that dream and the reality of what's actually in your bank account.
And this is really the heart of it. Most of us think that hitting that $100,000 mark means financial freedom. But here's the crazy part. In 2025, that exact same salary can make you feel loaded in one state and totally broke in another. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the shocking truth, the real numbers behind what $100,000 actually buys you across the U.S.
So, let's just get right to it. The big question. What does $100,000 really get you today? Let's dig in. Okay, to really get a grip on what's happening now, we've got to take a little trip back in time. We're going to do a reality check on the last 25 years or so just to see how dramatically the value of that six-figure dream has shifted.
I mean, think about it. Back in the year 2000, if you were making $100,000, you were doing really well. It was a true symbol of affluence. Now, you fast forward to today, and for so many families, that same amount of money, well, it's barely a survival wage. It's like the finish line moved, but our idea of what it takes to win is stuck in the past.
All right, so what's the real number? You might want to sit down for this one. Because of all the inflation that's piled up over the last 25 years, a $100,000 salary today has the exact same buying power as just $53,000 did back in 2000. Yeah, you heard that right. Its value has been sliced almost in half.
And let's flip that around. To get the same lifestyle that $100,000 got you back in 2000, you'd need to be pulling in almost $188,000 today. The goalposts haven't just moved, they're in a completely different stadium.
So, you get that job offer, see that big number, and start dreaming. But wait, before you can even think about spending it, a huge chunk of that money just vanishes. Let's talk about the first place your money goes: taxes.
All right, so you see that beautiful round number on paper, $100,000. But then the deductions start. First up, Uncle Sam takes his cut with federal taxes. Then you've got FICA taxes. That's for Social Security and Medicare. And of course, depending on where you live, your state is going to want a piece of the pie too. By the time it's all said and done, what actually hits your bank account, your take-home pay, is way, way less than you'd imagine. So, let's break it down. On average, you're looking at about 14.5% gone to federal taxes, another 7.65% for FICA, and roughly another 4.5% for state taxes. When you add it all up, more than a quarter of your salary, we're talking over $26,000, is gone before you've even paid for rent or groceries. Your real take-home pay is actually closer to $73,000. And here's the real kicker. That $73,000, that's before you even start doing the smart, responsible things, like putting money into your 401k for retirement or paying your share of health insurance. So the actual cash you have to live on day to day, yeah, it's even less than that.
Okay, so we've got our smaller paycheck. Now let's see how it stacks up against the big three, these massive, non-negotiable costs that are squeezing American budgets like never before. First on the list, housing. The average monthly cost to own a typical median-priced home in the U.S. is now over $2,600. So for someone taking home around $6,100 a month after taxes, well, you do the math. That's a whopping 43% of their take-home pay. It just completely blows past that old 30% rule for affordability.
Next up, just getting from point A to point B. The average monthly payment for a new car is now $748, so if you're a two-car family, you could easily be looking at $1,500 a month just for your cars. Yet the days of the $300 car payment are long gone.
And if you have young kids, oh boy, this is the big one. It's often called the second mortgage for a reason. The average monthly cost for daycare for just one kid is nearly $1,500. And in some states, it's way higher, closer to $2,000 a month. Seriously, this one expense can completely wipe out one person's entire take-home pay.
And believe me, the hits just keep on coming. Your share of health insurance? That could be almost $7,000 a year. Student loans? That's easily another $500 a month for a lot of people. And we haven't even talked about groceries or keeping the lights on yet. It just adds up so fast.
But now we get to the single most dramatic factor of all. Seriously, you can almost forget what your salary says on paper, because in 2025, your actual wealth is decided by your zip code. Geography, it's pretty much your financial destiny.
Just look at this wild contrast. Let's say you're earning $100,000 in Manhattan. After you factor in taxes and the insane cost of living, it basically feels like you're living on just over $30,000. But take that exact same salary to Memphis, Tennessee, and it feels like you're living on over 87 grand. That's a nearly $60,000 difference in your lifestyle from the same paycheck. It's unbelievable.
And hey, this isn't just a New York thing. In San Francisco, that 100 grand feels like $42,000. In LA, it's less than 48. But then you look at a place like Texas, and it's a completely different world. In Austin, it feels like over 78,000. And in cities like Houston, Memphis, or El Paso, you're keeping more than 80% of your salary's real value. The difference is just huge.
So here's the bottom line on this. The number on your job offer, your nominal income, it doesn't mean all that much. What really matters is your real wealth after you pay for, living. You could literally be making more money in a big city and still be financially worse off than someone making less in a more affordable town.
So with all that said, where does a $100,000 salary actually put you in America's class system today? Let's take a look at the new bottom line.
Well, if you look at the official definitions, the middle class is a really wide range. The median household income is about $83,000, so the middle class technically goes from around $56,000 all the way up to $167,000. What does that mean for you? It means a $100,000 salary doesn't make you upper class, not even close. It plants you smack dab in the middle of the middle class.
And this might be the most sobering number we've looked at. A majority, 51% of Americans earning over $100,000 a year say they are living paycheck to paycheck. This isn't just a problem for low-income folks anymore. It's a high-cost problem that's hitting people we all thought were doing just fine.
I think that really says it all, doesn't it? The numbers and just how millions of Americans feel, they all tell the same story. That six-figure salary we've all aimed for, it'll give you an income for sure, but what it doesn't guarantee anymore is financial security or peace of mind.
And that leaves us with one final big question. For generations, we were all told that 100 grand was the goal, the finish line. But if all this data is telling us that it's actually just the new starting line for being financially stable, then where on earth is the finish line now?